from his unconsciousness. Reggie Washington was now sitting next to him. He looked at Colby with concern and spoke. "I don't know what kind of medications you prescribe for yourself, but this shit is causing you to act peculiar. Captain Morales has begun our descent into Avoca, so sit back and relax, Doc." Colby felt the handcuffs that were attached to his wrist. Reggie continued, "Oh yeah, those are for your protection and the protection of the other passengers. You nearly gave that old lady a freaking heart attack." "Come on, Reg, you're kidding me, right?" Colby asked. "It's Detective Washington." Reggie opened up the doctor's briefcase and pulled out the laptop. He placed it in the seat pocket in front of Colby. Then he noticed the crimson-stained book. The detective drew his finger across the stain and brought it to his lips. "So what was so important on the computer that it had you all upset and acting like an escaped psycho patient?" "It's tomato juice, Detective Washington. Now, for Christ's sake, will you please unlock these things?" asked Colby as he waved his imprisoned forearm. "Are you going to answer my question?" "I can't. You have to believe me." "What I believe, Dr. Larson, is that you are hiding something of great importance from me. I have never taken kindly to sneaky pricks like you. You may be some type of a big-shot doctor up there in the backwoods of the Pocono Northeast, but when you're in my plane, in my airspace, and under my jurisdiction, then I become the big shot. Do we understand each other?" Reggie sternly proclaimed. Before Colby could produce any type of retaliation, the stewardess had started to announce that the aircraft would need to circle the airport a few times. She asked all passengers to remain seated until the captain turned off the safety lights. Colby reached into the pocket of his tan sports coat to retrieve his cell phone. He couldn't wait to hear his darling wife's sweet voice telling him that everything was going to be all right. "Welcome to the Avoca Airport, folks. In just a few minutes, we will begin to exit the plane," the captain announced. The aircraft had to circle for almost an hour before it produced a clear opening to land safely. Colby didn't know how to express the joy of finally being safely landed onto the ground. He quickly stood up. "You need to sit your crazy ass back down in that seat until all of the sane passengers are off of this plane," stated Reggie. He gave the doctor a little shove to the shoulder. Colby lost his balance and fell backwards into the seat. "Are you going to take these handcuffs off of my wrists? They are starting to hurt me," he pleaded. "I said when all of the passengers are clear. Besides, you could use this quality time to focus on the people that you may have hurt with your racist attitude and homophobia, Doc." "What the hell are you talking about, you stupid screamed Colby. He stopped in mid-sentence. Reggie had already made his way to the exit door. The snow was blowing into the cabin from the heavy winds outside. He started to descend the stairs, but not before looking back and giving a parting glance to his unsuspecting victim. "I hope to hell that wherever you end up, you son of a bitch, there are nothing but fags and niggers all around you." Reggie paused before locking the door's latch. He spoke his final words. "Goodbye, Dr. Larson." "You can't just leave me here. I have my rights. I'm sure you are familiar with my rights to a lawyer, detective. Unlock these cuffs!" Colby screamed. His voice echoed within the empty interior of the small-engine plane. He jerked and tugged at the metal restraints. They had been attached to a metal rod that ran between the seats. "Damn it, Washington! What the hell did I ever do to you?" It was that unanswered question that caused his BlackBerry to vibrate. Colby Larson retrieved the cell from between the seat cushions and pressed the answer key. "Welcome home, Dr. Larson," a softly toned woman's voice spoke. "And happy holidays, you piece of shit." It was the voice of the murderous Santa. "Look towards the terminal. I have something I want to share with you," the voice demanded. Colby did as the voice instructed. He pushed open the plastic shade and leaned against a small circular window. There was only a small portion of the waiting area that could be seen. The hundreds of passengers from other flights were obstructing his view. "Where are you hiding, bitch?" he yelled. "Oh, doctor, now is that any way to speak to an old woman? Anyway, I believe you still have something that belongs to me." When he did finally spot the old woman amongst the crowd, she was leaning against a row of vending machines near the back wall. She was still wearing the same gray sweater with the same baggy slacks. Only difference was that she was now almost 40 years younger. He couldn't quite get a clear view through the stained window. "You don't recognize me since I found the Fountain of Youth?" she laughed. He did in fact recognize her as Terry Keeler Bellwood. "It's been a while, Dr. Larson. I was hoping we would have the chance to meet again. I do wish your wife could have been here with us, though, but unfortunately the winter storm we had during your absence caused the death of her." Terry laughed. The sound of police sirens filled the tarmac below the right wing. "Oh, good, your ride is here. It seems you are quite the newsworthy fellow this holiday season, and not because of some new medical procedure you helped to improve, or some undeserving rich couple that you turkey-basted a baby for either. Apparently your trusting neighbors and distinguished colleagues don't take too kindly to a man who murders his wife and then flees the country with his son still missing," Terry added. He couldn't believe his beloved Abigail was dead. No longer would he be able to tell her how much he loved her or tightly hold his body against her. He would never taste the sweetness in her gentle kisses. His body began to go limp at the thought of living without her. "I'm not done with you yet, fuckface. Donna and I came to you because you were the best doctor with the highest success rate with in vitro fertilization. What gives you the right to play God?" Terry was breathing heavier now. "You are right about one thing, Doc. We are very different. Not because of the color of my skin or because the person I'm making love to happens to have the same pleasure piece between her legs as me. It's just the simple difference that I would never deny a loving family the privilege of having children just because of my own ignorance and bigotry." "Where is my son?" Colby demanded. "Pull the computer out from the seat pocket in front of you and turn it on," Terry ordered. "One thing that a man in your position surely knows is that children don't just become a bigot or hater. They are not born a racist or a homophobe. These are horribly taught traits that begin in the home with the parents. We wanted a family, Dr. Larson, and you turned us away. We don't think that you offer the proper household environment to raise children." He dropped his mobile device when a picture appeared on the screen. It was a young man wearing an Oxford shirt and black tie. The blue pants he was wearing resembled the same pair worn by the ticket agent from the London airport. The man turned around and smiled at the camera. "Hello, sir. I see you found a ride home, asshole." Leonard spoke sarcastically. What in the hell? Where's my son?" Leonard moved to one side and revealed a playful and content Slater Larson, sitting at his desk, coloring all over the big gray elephant named Dumbo, and chomping on a bag of fruit roll-ups. "Hi, Daddy. I love you. Did you bring me and my new sister presents? Santa say you were," the boy concluded. The computer went dark again. "That's right, Daddy. I forgot you have already met my cousin Leonard," the sinister laugh echoed through the phone. Colby wiped the dampness from his eyelids. He was scared and shaken up when he repositioned himself in the seat and back to the terminal view. Terry was still standing against the back wall, but she was leaning on the shoulder of Reggie Washington. He was holding a newborn baby in his arms. Colby wanted to scream at the top of his lungs. "No," would be the final words he would ever speak. Reggie handed the infant over to Terry in exchange for her phone. He started to peel off his prosthetic nose, lips, sideburns, and colored contacts, until the whole face just lifted over the hairline. Colby immediately recognized the high cheekbones and the cocoa-colored, soft-skinned woman. It was Donna Bellwood, Terry's wife. She only had few words to say, but it left a huge impact on the imprisoned passenger. "I'd like you to meet my daughter. Her name is Hope." The phones disconnected. The computer screen once again flickered on. This time it only displayed a timer that had already begun to count down from 20 seconds. There was a loud beeping noise coming from his briefcase. Colby unlatched the handle with caution and realized that it was the old woman's scrapbook that he had forgotten was there. The bogus biography was hollow in the middle, except for a small metal device with lights and wires flashing in a sequence. The events of the past 6 hours suddenly were tied together like a perfectly wrapped present, complete with the familiar sounds of Ms. Carpenter and her "I'll Be Home for Christmas" timeless classic streaming through the tiny speakers of the laptop. Colby closed his eyes as the uncontrollable crying turned to an unintentional laughter. The bright orange glare from the sun rising over the eastern skyline was an ironic complement to the fiery explosion filling the interior of the aircraft. He had made it home in time for Christmas, as promised. The end.